There's my audience. Okay. Alright. Each and every one of us make choices every day. Whether it is what we are going to wear, what we are going to eat, or even simpler things like should I wear my seatbelt. No matter what the choice is we are making, most likely that choice is going to affect us one way or another. Many choices can be so simple we don't even think about it, like wearing your seatbelt. Most of us, even me, are guilty of sometimes hopping in the car and not even thinking to put on the seatbelt. You have an 80% chance of being in a car accident at some point in your life, not knowing how serious it can be. A lot of people have the invincible mentality, thinking that they will never be in a bad accident. I'm going to touch on 6 points throughout this speech of what are the most important reasons of why people do and do not wear seatbelts. First one is seatbelts should be worn at any time in a vehicle. No matter where you're going, if it were far or just very close, a seatbelt should still be worn. Just because you're traveling at a short distance doesn't put you at any less of a risk of an accident. Most car accidents, in fact, do happen 3 miles away from your home. Just because you're in the back seat doesn't mean your chances of being injured in an accident are lower either. A study done in King County, Washington, showed that 93% of residents wore their seatbelt while driving on the highway, when only 68% of drivers wore their seatbelts while driving on city streets, and was in fact proven that city streets are more dangerous than highways. Second point is slow-moving vehicles are still dangerous. The force of the body's forward motion is equal to the weight of the body multiplied by the speed of the vehicle. A perfect example of this is the death of comedian Steve Allen. Allen was involved in a fender-bender car accident, which is clearly the least serious incident, and he was not wearing his seatbelt, which caused him to hit the steering wheel at a fast speed with his chest. Thinking everything was okay and he was not injured, later that day Allen died of a heart attack because of a ruptured blood vessel caused by the injury in his chest. The next point is studies show that wearing a seatbelt can be the best thing you can do to save your life in case of an accident. Anyone not wearing a belt is 15 times more likely to be killed and 5 times more likely to be seriously injured than someone not wearing a belt. Anyone not wearing a seatbelt is 90% more likely to be injured in any way. According to Alan Williams, the Vice President of Research of Highway Safety, if there were 100% seatbelt usage, between 12,000 and 15,000 lives would be saved each year. Next point are the top 3 reasons why people don't wear a seatbelt, as according to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. One reason states that some people are afraid of being trapped inside a vehicle. The next reason is that some people feel that the airbag is enough protection for them. For one, airbags will not inflate in a rear or side collision. 2, a deployed airbag will not reinflate once already deploying. And the third reason, an airbag can cause serious injury at a high speed to a passenger without a belt on. Next reason, reason number 3 is that some people feel like the steering wheel will protect them enough. The steering wheel will cause severe internal as well as external injuries. Hitting the steering wheel with a high rate of speed can even cause death. The seatbelt has affected me personally as well. I was in a rollover car accident last year where my car hit a guardrail going 80 miles an hour and overturned 4 separate times. Waking up in the hospital, the first thing the doctor told me was, "Good thing you were wearing a seatbelt." He later told me that if I was not wearing that seatbelt, there was no chance of me coming out of that wreck alive. In conclusion, choices are not always an easy thing to make, but a choice that simple is literally a matter of life and death. I hope this speech can persuade you to wear your seatbelt every time you're on the road, but it all comes down to you. The choice is yours. And my visual aid is a fatality chart for people who use seatbelts and people who do not use seatbelts. And it shows that the people who do not use seatbelts reach a fatality of almost 160,000 per year, and the people who did wear seatbelts is nearly 20,000 a year. And this picture shows a car wreck where the person did live because he had a seatbelt on, as well as this one. And this one, though less severe in looks, the occupant was killed because she was not wearing her seatbelt. And that's it.